actually, right now we are writing a paper
Together.
and we already submitted
Okay.
together. So
That's
with another former student of his, who is
okay.
my friend, and we actually just submitted. He's the lead
Yeah.
author, and then
That's
we just submitted manuscript on photocatalysis, the challenges, why it's not really been working that we expected to work. Although I did my PhD on photocatalysis. Now we are criticizing it after so many years.
Interesting.
It's interesting, right?
That's interesting.
Yeah.
We can come to that point, but staying with your supervisor for years, working together, and as you mentioned, he was demanding. There was something that you kept it with you and you learned from him, because we always learn from our supervisor something. If you want to maybe rank the top or two of the things that you learned from him and you are keeping them with you and you are using them while you are now supervising graduate students, or now you are taking the same position. So what are the things that is you really learned from your supervisor and you are keeping them with you?
Number one, communication. That's number one. Communication in between supervisor and student, graduate students, is very important. That's why I have a weekly group research meeting with all my grad students. Similarly, he was doing, they had a research group. So no matter who, there was a big group. So one person presents and everybody contributes as a question. So I'm not waiting as a supervisor. So the students, and I schedule them even here. And this has been my practice from day one.
Okay.
Every semester, I have the schedule of every week for all graduate students. Sometimes, depending on the number of grad students I have, once, twice, 3 times, they might present their update. And I ask everybody, they have to contribute, either during the presentation or after. So this way, I know what the students are doing, and also I can give feedback more effectively than coming, I want to do this, what should I do? Okay. So when the students present, so it shows how much they have done or what the stage of research. I think I call it communication.
Okay.
The communication in form of group research meeting is one of the most important things. And I really learned it from my supervisors that they were doing it. And I thought it's a good thing.
It is, yeah.
So I have to do this because it's a good practice. Number 2, always, again, goes back to communication. Have a relationship with the students. Sometimes the students, they have tough time. They may are not doing, sometimes, we see students are not doing well. So we should, find out why they are not doing well, or can we improve it? But most of the part is that the students are financially, they have struggling and they have some hardship in that. So maybe helping them, finding them TAs or some other supports, or sometimes there's a project here and there to help them. But I don't really agree that they go outside to work, because then it makes them far from the research. So I would prefer them, that sometimes, if I can, I give them some more stipends, as far as my budget allows. So this is the type of support, I give them. And this was really, my supervisors were really helpful in the critical moments. I remember, that I had financial problem, and, here you are, if this solves your problem. But they were not really proactive to give me something. Of course, there should be some communication between students and the supervisors. Another thing I would say is receiving feedback. Not only during the research projects, so we had individual research meetings. So because sometimes, you cannot discuss it perhaps during the presentation. Or, maybe the students are afraid to make some mistakes or things like that. They don't want to be embarrassed, but they keep it, or they present it individually with the supervisors. And they were all receiving, And today I tell my students, and actually I have time to time individual research meetings with my grad students. And these are the little things, but helpful
Makes a
things.
big impact.
Yes.
Yeah. So talking about the hard time and the challenges, definitely you went through some of those during your
Of course. Especially during my PhD. Yes.
So do you remember any of those challenges?
Challenges.
Other than the financial challenge, because we all have the financial challenges during our graduate study.
One of the biggest challenges I had was, it was the first year. So the project was defined, everything was good. So, but I tried my test, nothing is working. And I tell them, to be honest, whatever I do is not working. And they kept saying, no, try change this, try do this, do this. I said, I tried do this is broken, and I have challenge with that. They were supportive to provide, equipment or materials, or if possible, with other labs to do analysis, things like that. But it was a big challenge. It's not working. So what should I do? So it's frustrating. I said, no, this is actually, and then I learned that it's not me only. Actually, I talked to other grad students. Every single grad students I talked to, they had the same stage. So I'm sure you had this problem. At the beginning, nothing, is perfect. And I tell my students, sometimes I had a grad students wanted to give up. I said, I said, well, you should try this, Even we actually, what we learned at the University of Waterloo? So someone was doing a master's and was doing a project in biotechnology, and the same group. So he had a project to see if that reaction takes place by changing these parameters, whatever, And then he did 2 years of a study and nothing worked. And he said, what should I write? And the supervisor said, just write a paper, explain you did all these tests, nothing is working, and convey your message to the world that don't go to this route because it's not working.
Try something else.
He published it.
Yeah.
So it's not working, so don't waste your time. So, even if it's not working, we can get something out of it, but we have to try it. We have to, my suggestion to graduate students, never give up.
Okay.
So, of course, especially at the beginning, it's challenging, especially if it's modeling, the codes are not working. In my case, because I did some modeling, was not working, and I had to debug them, fix them one by one, do different experiments, change these parameters, change that parameter. So maybe, the operational parameters. So you change all this, so eventually make it work.
Yeah.
So this is how really we should do it. And I'm sure I was not the only one, other students, they had the same problem. So
yeah, I would say most of us went through this hard time at the beginning where you don't have this is what I tell the students nowadays. There's a difference between knowledge and experience. This is the experience that you get when you fail in doing something. Few times you will learn how to fix it, and now
that's why it's called research.
Exactly.
Research, yeah.
But at the same time, we have a moment that we cannot really forget. A good moment that makes us extremely happy, or something like, found it. Like, when there's found it.
Yeah, when it starts working, actually, everything going on, plan, then it moves on quickly, one after another. And I remember, I did some experiments. It was just before, maybe a week before my defense, where I submitted my thesis and everything. And then it was couple of days before my defense. So one of my peers, my classmates who was also PhD students, were close, and now he's a professor now. He showed me a paper because he was doing photocatalysis. Oh, can you see this? And I said, this is my results. I said, no, they actually did the same test and they got the same trend and the same figures. I said, wow, I'm happy that my results, it validated another lab and somewhere in the world. At the same time, what should I do? Because it's already published, a portion of it. Not the whole thing, but a
Yeah,
portion
yeah,
of it.
yeah. That's very
So
challenging.
anyways, but the good news was that I already submitted my manuscript, but it was
Yes.
not really
Published yet.
but I didn't get any feedback yet, but there was a publication out. And those days really it was not random. So because if you remember those days, maybe more than 20, I'm talking about more than 25 years ago.
Yeah, no, 1990.
30 years ago, that it was not again like today, everything you submit online.
Yeah,
so
you got
we
the
submit
source.
the manuscript by paper, 6
Oh,
copies.
you were at that
mail
time?
it. Yes. Mail it. And then with the hope to get a response, and then it comes, you have to correct it. You print it nicely, you send it to them. And then at the end, you send an electronic copy by email or something. Yeah, they were required like
yes, yes.
so it was not like someone
everything available
saw
online.
something and quickly published. No. So that was really something.
That was interesting. But I think that was something good when you are even defending. There is another support from other lab that is having the same results and replicating.
Not the whole thing, but but portion.
It's the concept and the idea of that. So you finished your journey with a PhD, and then I believe that you worked a little bit as a postdoc.
What happened was I actually scheduled my defense for I think it was fall. I believe 1997. So we chose an external for my PhD defense, Professor David Ollis. He just, I think, passed away last year. I don't remember, but that's why the manuscript we are doing is in honor of his memory with my former supervisor. So we invited him to be my external for my PhD. And then 2 weeks before my defense, because those days there were no online.
Exactly.
No online.
To the new generation, everything was in person.
Because he was in North Carolina.
He needs to come to
Yes, he needed to come to Waterloo. So he said, I had another arrangement in Europe. Sorry, I cannot make it. So everything was on pause for me. And then we had to start all over again. And those days, it was, you send a letter, you wait, to get, and then
not
if
just
they
a
don't
quick email or
it was not like this. So then I told, again, that was another support I got from my supervisors.
Okay.
And I said, well, I'm done with the thesis. This is submitted now. By the university policy, I have to still register because I cannot defend, right? There's no external. So don't worry about it. So forget about your thesis. Your thesis is done. So we process, finding external is rescheduled anyways. So I remember we were scheduled for February 98. So anyways, so during this time, so I said what to do. So I started a project on fermentation as a postdoc before I finished my PhD with my supervisor.
Okay.
With the same supervisor.
Yeah.
Now you're officially
postdoc.
I said, I don't have PhD.
That's an interesting.
Yeah, that's interesting. So I started of course, I defended in between, and then I published one paper, so-called postdoc research associate. So it was good. Then when I was postdoc, so I received an email, or I think my supervisor, Professor Anderson, saw me in the hallway and said, I need to talk to you. And I went to his office and said, there's an opening, a university called Ryerson. I said, where is it? Honestly, I didn't know where it is. I said, where is it? Which city? He said, it's in Toronto. I said, is this really a university? He said, yeah, it's a university, and I encourage you to apply. Then I talked to my other supervisor, and then Professor Moyan, and he said, yeah, you should apply, actually, you're a good fit, you should apply. And so I applied. So I waited, I got an interview, and interestingly, I got some interview from other universities in the same week.
So you applied to other universities as well?
Yeah. And then I got admitted a few universities, but I because of the location.
Oh yeah,
And when I
Toronto's.
came, I loved being in downtown Toronto. I chose
Yes.
at the time Ryerson University over other universities, and it was the same time that there was a separation or vote for separation of Quebec, right? I
Oh
didn't want to
yeah.
move out of Ontario, anyways.
Sildar keep saying that all.
So yeah, and I applied and I got an interview, and I remember in Care Hall I did a presentation. So it was not like today you prepare online, PowerPoint on the computer. So I had my slides,
Oh yes.
but prepared. So I did a presentation, and I got the job. So they called me. So then I started in '98. So as an assistant professor. So then I told my supervisors, and well, I'm moving. I got the job.
Toronto.
So I said, okay, you should work until the last day.
You answer.
Okay, I do. So which is good. I didn't waste any day
Anytime.
off. So I finished exactly, by end of July, and then August I started here.
Was it that easy, that transition?
Yeah, I think it was not bad. So
Moving from someone who is getting supervised to one who will supervise the insan.
Yeah, I was prepared because during my postdoc, I actually started supervising.
Okay.
Yeah. And then I was in charge of the group. So he put me as, I think it was good in form of training. And that's why I'm doing it. Again, another point I learned, I'm putting some of my grad students, the senior grad students, in charge of the newcomers.
So they can.
That, they train them, especially in every aspect, even for TA, I have a senior TA who teaches the new TAs.